Welcome to DevCraft. I am Myra and today you are watching our CSS series. So today's series we are going to look into another example using Flex. So this is the example we are going to cover. So in this example we have a main div. Inside that main div we have three child divs, one for this, another one for this and third one for this. So let's start with Visual Code. This is our HTML page with a basic HTML structure, and this is our CSS file with no CSS applied. So first we have our main flex container div. So I'm creating a div with a class flex container. Inside this flex container div we have three divs. As we earlier discussed, we are going to create a div with the class item. Inside flex container we have three of them, so I'm just copying and pasting it two more time. Okay, now let's apply some CSS using a class selector of flex container, applying display property obviously as flex because we are going through the example of flex. Okay, for the item class I'm just giving it some background and border color. So let me give some background color to my parent div, which is a flex container. It should be blue, some darker version of blue actually. So I'm like taking this one and I'm applying some border to the items. Let it be 1 pixel width and a solid one and with color white. And I am applying padding because we do not have any content inside our div, so I am applying some padding so we can view the divs. So now let's preview it. This is what we have. Okay, we have three divs inside our main container. Okay, now we can see that as in the image we have four child div inside our first div. So we have to create these four child divs. For that I'm just committing here that it is our first div. It will help me a lot to figure out where is our first div and where is our second one and the third one later on when the code grows. So this is our second one and this is our third one. So inside our main first one we have four divs. So I'm creating four divs with a class item. Now these four divs will be the item divs, and we have to just remove class item from the parent one because this is no more the item. Okay, now just preview our page. This is what we have. I am just increasing its percentage so you can view it. We have first div with four items. Okay, now as you see our second div also contain four divs, 1 2 3 and 4, and the second div and the second item div of our this one div contain two more divs. We are covering this soon. So our second div also contain these four items, so I'm just copying and pasting it. Our third div contain only two items, so I am just removing the item class from the parent div and just pasting 2 in the third one. We need also to remove this class from the parent div of the third one. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, now you can see in our this second one div, the second item contain two divs in a horizontal row. So the second item of our second div, this is our second div, and the second item contain two more divs. So I'm creating two more div here with the class item. Now these two are items and this parent should not be item, so I'm just removing the item class from that one. Now just preview our page, what we have. Oops. What we have two divs over here, but they are not in a horizontal way, they are in vertical form. So what we need to do is we need to just give a class to our parent div of the second item. Let it be flex horizontal. You can name as you want. Just applying some CSS to this class. Display property should be again flex. Flex direction by default is column, but we need to show our child div in a horizontal way, so we need to set it as row. So this is now what we have. Alright, now we have to put some items over there. In each of our divs we have to put some items. So what we have a heading in our first item, we have unordered list in our second item, and an image and a heading again. So our first content in first item will be the heading, h3 heading, CSS layout. Then we have unordered list. For unordered list we have to use element called ul. With three items, for items we have to use li. Third item was item 3. Then we have an image. For image we need to use tag called img, using property src to defining the location of the image. I have this image css.png and just closing the tag. Image is a self-closing tag. So then we have again an heading, h3 heading, hello world heading. Okay, so this is what we have. Oops, all our divs are just expanded because our image size is too big and our text are shown in black color. So just change our text color using universal selector, which is static. Set our text color as white and change the image width and height. For that I am using element selector image. Then I'm just setting its width as 100% and let it height be 180 pixel. I think it's more than enough. HEI. Okay, now let's preview it. So this is what we have. I'm just changing my browser percentage to 100. So this is what we have up till now. Now in our second div we have heading, then again an heading, then the third item is also heading, then the fourth item is an image, and the fifth item is heading. So let's go to our HTML page. This is our second div. Okay, the first item will be the heading, H3 heading. Okay, just I am copying it and pasting it to the second item, which is this one, third item, and fourth item will be image, so I'm leaving it, and the fifth item will be heading. For image, again I'm using img tag, src attribute, and the same image we have to put which is css.png, and closing the image tag. Okay, now this is what we have. Okay, but you can see that there is some spacing over here, but we do not want these spacing. So what we have to do is we have to use flex grow. We have to use flex grow inside our item div as flex grow, because we need to expand these items. We do not need to expand this main div. We need to expand this item. So we need to apply flex grow to the item. Flex grow set to 1. So our item grows. Now let's look into the third part of our image. The third part contains two divs. One is paragraph and another is again an image. For paragraph, I have some text over here. I'm copying this text and just pasting the text in e tag inside our third div. So I have a paragraph element. Inside paragraph element I have this paragraph. Then I have an image inside my second div. So I'm using image element again, src attribute, the same image, and closing the image element. So this is what we have. Oops. Now you can see the major difference between these two is that each div have same size over here, but we do not have that. So to have same size, we need to give some class to our main parent div, which is this one. Let it be parent div class. Okay, now I am just copying this class and giving it to the second div, which is this one. Now you can see how these comments are helping me to figuring out where I need to put what. The first one I am giving this class and applying some CSS to this class using a class selector. I am applying this CSS dot parent div, right? This is the class name we have, right? So I am giving some width to that. We need an equal width, so we are giving some 30% to each div. So this is now what we have. Okay, now you can see if I grow it more, we have some spacing between here. We can call that a margin between items. These are some margin between items. So we need to apply some margins inside our item. So go to the item 1 CSS and apply some margin. I think 2 pixel will be more than enough. Now let's preview our page. This is what we have. If we increase the size of our page, we can see there is some spacing between each item, which is called margin. Thank you for watching. Hope you understand flex property very well. If you have any questions related to it, you can just comment it. Don't forget to like, subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.